The sea can be calm, beautiful, even peaceful. But in ancient Greece, every sailor knew one terrifying truth. The ocean belonged to a god whose anger could destroy entire kingdoms in a single night. His name was Poseidon. To the ancient Greeks, Poseidon wasn't just the god of the sea. He ruled storms, earthquakes, and creatures hidden in the deepest parts of the ocean. Even the mightiest heroes feared his wrath. But before he became the ruler of the seas, Poseidon was born into a family haunted by fear, betrayal, and an ancient prophecy that would change the fate of the gods forever. His father, Cronus, believed one of his children would overthrow him. Terrified of losing his throne, he tried to stop destiny itself. Poseidon's story should have ended before it even began. Instead, it became the beginning of one of the greatest legends in all of Greek mythology. For years, Poseidon remained trapped, while the world above continued without him. But destiny had not forgotten the sons of Cronus. Far away, a young god named Zeus was preparing to challenge the impossible. When Zeus finally confronted Cronus, the ancient prophecy came true. One by one, the imprisoned children were freed, and Poseidon stood beside his brothers once again. Together, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades united against the Titans. It would become the greatest war the heavens had ever witnessed. The battle lasted for years. Mountains collapsed, oceans roared, and the skies burned with endless lightning until the Titans were finally defeated. With victory finally secured, the three brothers cast sacred lots to divide the universe. One draw would shape Poseidon's destiny forever. When the sacred lots were cast, Zeus claimed the skies. Hades inherited the underworld. And Poseidon became the ruler of every sea, every ocean, and every river upon the earth. A kingdom unlike any other, with a single strike of his trident, Poseidon shaped the oceans. Coral kingdoms rose from the depths, and magnificent underwater palaces were born beneath the waves. Deep beneath the sea stood his royal palace, built from shimmering coral, polished shells, and glowing crystals that reflected the light of the ocean. Unlike Olympus, Poseidon's kingdom never slept. Every current, every tide, and every storm answered only to him. But even the mighty god of the sea did not rule alone. Beside him stood Amphitrite, the immortal queen of the oceans. Together they ruled a realm filled with wonders beyond imagination, where ancient creatures and forgotten civilizations rested beneath the waves. Their son, Triton, inherited his father's power. Whenever he blew his magical conch shell, the seas themselves obeyed his command. From the deepest trenches to the highest waves, Poseidon's family watched over every corner of the sea. Sailors prayed before every voyage, offering gifts to Poseidon in hopes of calm waters, because they knew his mood could change without warning. For those who respected him, Poseidon could guide ships safely home. But for those who challenged him, the sea itself became their greatest enemy. The sea was only part of Poseidon's power. The ancient Greeks believed he could strike the earth itself, causing mountains to tremble and entire cities to shake beneath his wrath. Because of this incredible power, people called him the Earthshaker. No king or warrior could stop the destruction once Poseidon unleashed his anger. His trident was more than a weapon. Legend said it could summon storms, calm the seas, or split the earth with a single strike. Sailors never sailed without first honoring Poseidon. They believed one forgotten prayer could turn a peaceful voyage into a deadly storm. Sometimes, Poseidon rewarded respect with calm waters and favorable winds. But when insulted, mercy disappeared like the tide. When his fury awoke, towering waves swallowed fleets, violent storms darkened the sky, and even experienced sailors lost all hope. Among all the creatures of the sea, one magnificent being became forever linked to Poseidon, the legendary winged horse, Pegasus. Pegasus became a symbol of divine power and freedom, reminding the world that Poseidon's influence reached far beyond the oceans. Yet no storm, no earthquake, and no mythical creature would make Poseidon as furious as one clever mortal, Odysseus. The conflict between Poseidon and Odysseus would become one of the greatest rivalries in all of Greek mythology. And it all began with a single mistake. After the Trojan War, Odysseus believed the hardest battles were behind him. But fate guided his ship toward an island that hid a terrifying secret. Inside a dark cave lived Polyphemus, the gigantic Cyclops, son of Poseidon. His single eye watched every stranger who entered his home. Odysseus and his men soon realized they were trapped. The enormous Cyclops blocked the entrance with a stone too heavy for any human to move. Using clever strategy instead of strength, Odysseus tricked the giant and waited for the perfect moment to escape. Together, the warriors drove the burning stake into the Cyclops' only eye. The cave echoed with a roar that shook the island. Blinded and furious, Polyphemus called upon his father, Poseidon, begging the mighty sea god to punish the man who had destroyed his sight. Poseidon heard his son's desperate cry. From that moment forward, Odysseus would never again know peace upon the sea. Every storm, every shipwreck, and every deadly wave became another obstacle on Odysseus' long journey home. What should have been a short voyage lasted 10 long years, as Poseidon's relentless anger tested Odysseus again and again. This legendary rivalry showed the world one unforgettable lesson. No one, not even the greatest hero, could escape the wrath of Poseidon. Even after Odysseus finally reached home, the legend of Poseidon's wrath spread across Greece. Sailors told the story for generations, warning others never to challenge the Lord of the Sea. Magnificent temples were built along the coast, where kings, fishermen, and travelers offered gifts before every voyage across the sea. To earn Poseidon's blessing meant safe passage. To earn his anger meant facing the unstoppable power of the ocean itself. Yet beneath his terrifying reputation, Poseidon was not simply a destroyer. He was the guardian of the seas, keeping the balance of a world that depended on the ocean. Like every Olympian god, Poseidon embodied both creation and destruction. Calm seas brought life, while storms reminded humanity to respect nature's power. Thousands of years later, Poseidon remains one of the most recognizable figures in Greek mythology, inspiring books, films, games, and legends around the world. His story reminds us that the sea is both beautiful and dangerous, generous and unforgiving, just like the god who ruled it. Perhaps that is why the ancient Greeks never underestimated Poseidon. They understood that true power deserves respect, not arrogance. Behind every crashing wave and every distant storm, they imagined the watchful presence of the mighty god of the sea, forever guarding his endless kingdom. This is the true story of Poseidon, not just the ruler of the seas, but one of the most powerful and respected gods of Greek mythology. Which legendary god should mythos uncover next?